Can you believe it? In the 21st century, there was this crazy moment where a war didn't last for years or even months. Nope, it lasted a mind-blowing 38 minutes. Just think about it. Before folks could even wrap their heads around what was happening, the whole thing was over. This legendary clash, dubbed the Anglo-Zanzibar War, happened in Africa and snagged a spot in the Guinness World Records for being the shortest war ever. But here's the real kicker. Who were the countries going at it, and who had the power to say, "Okay, we're done," in the blink of an eye? Now that's a tale that'll keep you on the edge of your seat. The island of Zanzibar, situated in East Africa, had long been on the radar of the British Empire. They saw it as a strategic location to leverage its geographical position and take control of the valuable resources in the region. The British considered themselves quite advanced, especially in comparison to Eastern countries like India, Africa, and several Arab nations. However, Zanzibar Island remained under the control of the Sultanate of Oman, which thwarted British aspirations. The British dream couldn't materialize until they could wrest control from the Omani Empire. At that time, Sultan Zayed bin Sultan ruled Oman. He was a staunch adherent to his principles and never compromised in any way. This is why they were often referred to as the Line of Oman. Now it is evident that it was impossible for the British Empire to seize any part of Oman. When he died in 1856, Oman's throne was plunged into chaos. It was the point when Oman split into two parts. The elder brother, Thuwaini bin Said, managed the throne of Oman, while the younger brother, Majid bin Said, separated Zanzibar from Oman and established it as a new country. Zanzibar, which had been a part of Oman for many centuries, faced rejection from several Arab sultans following Majid bin Said's decision. However, the British Empire saw an opportunity. They wasted no time in asserting their influence over Zanzibar by immediately backing Majid bin Said's decision to declare Zanzibar as a separate entity. With this move, the British Empire had effectively intervened in local politics, turning Zanzibar into a pawn in their strategic games. The main source of income for Zanzibar was its slave markets, the final stop in the trading of slaves. These markets were where slaves, brought from the mainland lands of Africa to the island of Zanzibar, were bought and sold. As the years passed, the sultans of Zanzibar changed, and their main income source shifted from the slave markets to the clove market, with the British providing significant support. Under the Sultan's rule, Zanzibar boasted a magnificent palace situated right on the waterfront. This palace housed every facility imaginable at the time. Most notably, it was the first building in East Africa to have electricity connections. On August 25, 1896, the sudden death of the pro-British Sultan of Zanzibar occurred. Khalid bin Barghash, a cousin of the Sultan, poisoned him and declared himself the new Sultan of Zanzibar, aligning with the British preferences for a compliant ruler. However, the British had already chosen Hamoud bin Muhammad as the next Sultan. Upon learning of Khalid bin Barghash's plot, they issued a stern ultimatum demanding Khalid to vacate the palace by 9 a.m. on August 27th. Khalid, now the new Sultan of Zanzibar, fortified himself within the palace as British ships Zanzibar Island from all sides. Tension gripped the palace for the following 2 nights. Just an hour before the ultimatum's expiry, Khalid expressed his willingness to negotiate, but doubted the British's resolve for warfare. The British Council reiterated their stance, expressing no immediate intent to attack, but leaving the possibility open. At that time, in the Grand Palace of Zanzibar, there were 2,800 guards present. Among them were some soldiers, some palace guards, and several hundred servants and slaves of the Sultan. Additionally, to confront the Royal Navy, a ship was stationed in the Indian Ocean outside the Sultan's palace. It was the HMS Glasgow, a 32-pounder gift to the Sultan of Zanzibar from Queen Victoria in 1873. Moreover, Zanzibar's 2 steamers were also present to challenge the British Royal Navy. At 9 o'clock, when the given ultimatum to the Sultan expired, British naval cruisers began advancing towards the island, carrying 10 gunboats and 150 Marines. It's worth noting that these 150 individuals were up against the Sultan's 2,800 guards. At 9 sharp, within 2 minutes, the gunboats, reinforced by Recon Thresh and Aspern, opened blind fire at the palace. In the initial assault, the 12-pound cannons inside the palace were destroyed. In the heat of the attack, the HMS Glasgow, a Royal Yacht-class ship, was sunk in a single blow. However, since it was anchored in shallow water with its upper part exposed, the ship displayed the British flag and surrendered immediately. The British plan was to arrest Sultan Khalid bin Barghash and take him to India. However, before the fire escalated, the Sultan fled from the palace clandestinely, escaping with his Arab allies. Out of the Sultan's army of 2,800 soldiers, 500 were killed due to heavy bombardment. The British Navy fired a total of 500 shells, 41 rounds of shrapnel, and 1,000 rounds of rifle fire. By 9 o'clock, British soldiers had breached the palace, leading to the surrender of the remaining defenders. At exactly 9 o'clock and 38 minutes, the British Marines hoisted the Sultan's flag on the palace roof, marking the end of the 38-minute-long battle. Interestingly, while 500 of the Sultan's men perished, only 1 British sailor was wounded throughout the entire conflict. It later emerged that Sultan Khalid bin Barghash sought refuge in German East Africa. At that time, German and British powers were prominent in East Africa. Immediately following the seizure of the palace, the British declared Mahmud bin Mohammed as the new Sultan of Zanzibar on the same day. This brief 38-minute battle marked the beginning of a significant British influence in Zanzibar. Afterward, Zanzibar continued under British rule as a direct colony, with Sultan Hamud bin Mohammed at the helm. Over the next 10 years, approximately 17,200 Zanzibari slaves were emancipated, and slavery was abolished across the corners of Zanzibar. In the 18th and 19th centuries, when the British colonized various countries, did it benefit or harm human civilization? What are your thoughts on this matter? We hope you'll like and share this video by Phonics Facts. Thank you very much for your insightful comments. See you in the next fantastic video.